Most NBA players need kale smoothies, blackout curtains, and a 2-hour meditation playlist just to drop 15. But Michael Beasley? This man showed up higher than gas prices and still gave you 40. I'm not exaggerating. No stretches, no film session, no preparation. Just raw talent and vibes, and possibly a full blunt in his sock. From late nights with Bob and hotboxing hotel rooms to being cited with speeding and possession of the marijuana, Beasley wasn't just hooping. He was hooping on rockstar mode, if there is such a mode. This man skipped warm-ups like I skipped leg day. He just showed up, eyes redder than the devil's, and dropped 40 like he was dropping juices after having Taco Bell.
I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be just fine.
One night, he was at the second overall pick. The next, he was late to practice because he got lost inside his own apartment. True story. He even showed up to a game with the wrong pair of shorts on. And yet, despite all of this man was still a bucket.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So today, we ask the impossible. How did a player this reckless, this chaotic, this high still manage to cook NBA level defenders like he was praying in a Sunday church league? Well, buddy, we need to go back to where it all began for this 6'8" enigmatic forward. From day one, basketball wasn't just a hobby for Beasley. It was his passion. Dude fell in love with the game early, got freaky deaky good at it, and ended up bowling with the PG Jaguars, one of the best AAU teams at the time. But it wasn't all smooth sailing because Beasley had some instability issue that saw him play for 6 teams across 4 years. Still, no matter where he landed, Beasley kept putting up stupid good numbers to maintain his reputation as one of the most talented kids in the country. Then in the fall of 2007, he committed to Kansas State University, the very place where he became an unstoppable force. In the 2007-08 season, he averaged 26 points and a nation-leading 12.4 rebound in the 2007-08 season. And just to flex, he also broke 30 Kansas State records. Career, single season, freshman, you name it. He smashed it like a bowl of grandma fried rice. So yo, with numbers like that, Beasley college stay was always gonna be shorter than the attention span of kid nowadays. In fact, he spent just 1 year in college before declaring for the NBA draft in 2008. At the time, there were some questions about his attitude, his focus, and off-court red flags. But thanks to his talent, Beasley was one of the first names off the board on draft night.
With the second pick in the 2008 NBA draft, the Miami Heat select Michael Beasley from Kansas State University.
His rise to the big league was quick, but the rate at which he raised the hope of Miami Heat fans was even quicker. He started on his summer league debut with 28 points and 9 rebounds in just 23 minutes. And by the time the tourney came to an end, he was ranked second for rebound average and joined third for scoring average. It was an astonishing performance that silenced his critics and made Heat fans lose their minds. Could this be the making of a future NBA star? What happened next might have stunned a lot of people. It all started during the annual rookie transition program, where first-year players are taught how to adapt to NBA life. Of course, as a rookie, Beasley was in attendance, but instead of learning how to survive the league, he was out there living like my dear friend Mr. Chow.
At dawn.
What? Toodaloo, motherfucker.
Hey,
According to reports, Beasley, Mario Chalmers, and Daryl Arthur hosted uninvited women in their hotel rooms, a clear violation of the program's policy. Don't even ask me what they were caught doing. In addition, the heavy smoke from their room triggered the hotel smoke alarm at 2 a.m. Now, here is the interesting part. Despite being the ringleader of the chaos, Beasley snuck out of the room just in time to escape public scrutiny, leaving Chalmers and Daryl to take the rap. Eventually, the truth came out. His role in the incident was confirmed and he was fined $50,000 for breaking the rules at the NBA's official seminar on how not to break the rules. League officials hoped the fine would be enough to deter Beasley from breaking more rules. Spoiler alert, it did not. In fact, the perpetual problem forward kept racking up fines from the Miami Heat like it was collecting Infinity Stone. Then it got worse. He was sent to rehab for abusing that famous forbidden broccoli. And less than a month after he completed the program, he was photographed sleeping on a boat surrounded by empty bottles of beer. At the time, Miami Heat officials did their best to defend him. They claimed the forward found a soft spot for napping, which just so happened to be the wrong spot. How convenient! Eventually, team officials saw through the smoke screen and realized this brother wasn't changing anytime soon. So, they put him on the market like a used rice cooker. And surprisingly, the Minnesota Timberwolves decided to take the gamble on him. But why? Well, David Kahn, the team's president at the time, knew exactly what he was buying. He even publicly admitted that Beasley was a young and immature kid who smoked too much. Yet he agreed to do the deal because Beasley promised not to smoke again. Did he keep that promise? Of course not. Only thing that changed was his hairstyle and maybe his pre-game prayers. Other than that, he was the same player. Still partying, still collecting fines, and now getting pulled over by the police for reckless driving and possession of. With every incident, Beasley's reputation as the NBA's most beautiful disaster kept rising. But somehow, team couldn't resist the gamble. 7 teams fell for his charm across 11 seasons, including Phoenix, Houston, Milwaukee, New York, and LA. Now, that's a resume thicker than a dumpling. And for a guy who clearly preferred the club over his career, it's utterly impressive. But it wasn't a coincidence. You see, despite his off-court trouble, Michael Beasley was a bag of talent. He had an incredible feel for the game, smooth footwork, explosive first step, and could score in anywhere from anywhere on the court. Sure, he had stayed where he vanished like he was on vacation in the Bahamas. But when he showed up, it was straight up fireworks. For instance, in 2010, he scored 42 points against the Sacramento Kings. Then, less than a year later, as a last-minute starter and fresh off an all-night party, he torched the San Antonio Spurs for 35. He had so much talent and skill, he could turn the game on its head in a split second. Even at the dead end of his career, when he left the NBA to play in China, he was averaging decent points every game. But his attitude and off-court antique meant he never reached his full potential, which is quite sad, lah.
I've wanted to be here so long, but this and that, whether my fault or somebody else's fault, kept me here.
Describing him as a bust might be too much of a stretch, but what do you think? Could he have achieved more? Is Michael Beasley the most talented what if in NBA history? Well, when it comes to raw gifts wasted like leftover wasabi, Beasley is right up there. He had the size and enough natural scoring ability to make elite defenders look like traffic cones. But rather than building a Hall of Fame resume, he built a mixtape of missed opportunities, unrealized potential, and lifetime regret. Swish roll out.